do your impression of Azriel, but as an owl.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
You're listening to Getting Fae'd. We,
Lukas.
Lea.
and Meike are reading A Court of Mist and Fury for the very first time. Today we are covering chapters 52, 53, and 54. Get Fae'd with us! Woo!
Hello, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, Meike. Hello, laptop with an image of Lea.
Hello, Lea.
I think you mean notebook. I think laptop is the German name.
Yeah, that's correct.
Wait, you don't say laptop in
No.
English?
You say notebook.
But it's something you put on your lap. It's a laptop.
Yeah. You also don't say handy.
I think a
But
handy
it's
is
such a
like
handy word.
A handyman.
a hand job.
Hand job from a handyman.
Okay.
Welcome to Getting Fae'd.
Lea is not here today. Lea is in our notebook.
Laptop.
Very sad, but happy she's still here.
We're happy she's still here.
Yeah.
Was she close to death? Did I miss something?
Stop telling everyone I'm dead.
Did you almost die, Lea?
Sometimes I still hear her voice. No, I didn't almost die. I only have a cold. And since Meike has a very important trip in her near future,
Oh, wow.
I don't want to infect her with my slimy germs.
Slimy.
So I'm at home. We are now practiced in remote recording. Not that we will
Wow.
use it as like a regular thing, but since it works and everyone's safe this way, that's better. And we will have a great time.
Nice.
Yes.
Where are you going, Michael? Can you disclose where you're going?
I'm going to Milan. And I can tell you because we're pre-recording and I won't be in Milan anymore once this comes out.
That's
Yay.
better.
Nice.
So no one can stalk you.
All right. I mean, it's a very big city in Italy, so
Nice.
if you'd find me there, I'd be impressed. But also, please don't try. Thank you. Anyways.
Michael is in Italy right now.
I'm in Italy. Italia, bella Italia.
Farfalle.
Is that offensive? No.
Principessa.
Okay, guys, I have an idea.
You do.
So there's this book series, and it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses, and maybe we should talk about it.
What? Okay.
Okay. What happens in those books?
Well-
Maybe recap the last 2 chapters so I know what's happening.
But I'm currently on book 2.
Book 2. Interesting.
Yeah, it's called A Court of Mist and Fury.
Damn.
And in the last 2 chapters, or maybe 3 chapters. Wow, 3 chapter episodes back to back. Let's
Yeah.
go.
We're busy bees here.
Feyre, that's the protagonist. She. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, what did he do, huh?
No,
Come on.
I can get
What
this. I
did she
know
do?
this. I know this. I read it.
It was very impactful.
Very
Feyre,
suspenseful. Ouchie, big ouchie.
Feyre was on a mission with Resent.
Yeah,
That's a boyfriend, and
that's her mate.
oh,
Well,
right.
that's the end.
And he got shot out of the sky with some ashwood arrows, which is lethal for fairies, by the way. These are fae people.
What?
And then she saved him. She met the Azriel again. They told her to give him some blood so he can heal, because she's healing Feyre, I don't know.
Casual.
And the Azriel also revealed that Resent is in fact her mate, and she was pretty mad that he didn't tell her. And then she dropped the half-dead Resent off at the house with Morrigan and the gang, and then told Morrigan to get her away. And then they windowed to a small little mountain cabin where Feyre needs some time to think after this quite important information.
Right. That's exactly what she does in chapter 52, where she gives herself some spa treatment in a tub in that little cozy tiny cabin in the mountains.
Nice.
Yeah, she really got used to that wealthy lifestyle.
Right.
Because she says like, even though when I still lived in the mortal world, I could go weeks without a bath just because we didn't have any. But now she's like, oh, no, 3 days, I'm dying. I mean, reasonable, but still.
Yeah.
You get used to a new standard of life pretty quickly, I guess. But here's the first detail I want to talk about. She mentions the scent of the soap, which smells of smoke and pine.
Wintry.
And since scents and smells seem to be so important in this book series, what do you think this means that she's cleaning herself with a scent of smoke and pine?
I don't know. I feel like this was very focused on coziness, also like her clothes and stuff. So it just felt wintry to me, like pine and smoke. But I feel like if one would give it a label, I think it's a rather masculine smell, maybe. If one wants to label it that way.
Yeah, smoke and pine. That sounds like a beard oil, maybe.
True. Like Old Spice.
Yeah.
Just like a side note for the people that have read all of the Throne of Glass series, there's like one very important mention of the scent of a soap that Selena, the protagonist, uses. So for all of you who know, go have a little cry.
Okay. But Lea, I agree, her outfit is great.
Oh, I love
It
her
feels
outfit.
so cozy. It feels so modern. That's just what I would wear.
What is she wearing? It's like a cozy jumper and some leggings.
Yeah, and
I think
high
it's like
socks.
a cream
thick
sweater
socks.
that is hanging down to her mid-thighs.
Best.
So it's pretty large. Yeah, amazing.
Awesome. I think we've talked about it before, but books rarely mention comfy clothing.
Yeah.
And this is so nice to see Feyre dressed in something that just fits the scene. Like, it wouldn't make sense for her to, like, dress up and be all, ooh. She just wants to chill.
Yeah.
She does. It's awesome. But, well, she does not just chill, because she thinks a lot about the whole mate bomb Rysand, or rather, like, the Azriel dropped on her last
Drop
chapters.
the M-bomb.
Right. And she has, like, a lot of strings of thoughts, because at first she's kind of like, well, if I just told the world Rysand's my mate, people probably wouldn't be mad at me for this sort of betrayal against Tamlin.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's fated to be with Rysand, so leaving Tamlin wouldn't be such an embarrassing or, like, hateful thing. And then she sort of feels guilty for being with Tamlin while Rysand was, like, knowing she was his mate. And then she's like, well, maybe he didn't tell me because he doesn't want the bond.
That was...
And I was like,
girl...
What? And then she goes even further and is like, well, if I had known, how had that changed my relationship to Tamlin? And I'm just like, well, it might have not. I don't know, just...
I mean,
you know,
I think the last thing seems to me like a reasonable thought again. Like, if she had known that, would it have changed? I think that's reasonable to think about. But I think it's inconsistent what she knows about Fae society and what she doesn't. Because she's like, as you said, if I reveal to the society that I'm mated with Rysand, then the grounds for war would be gone. And it's not just like Tamlin is hurt, that's why he's going to war, but the, I guess, lawful facts, or the facts from the point of view of the law, are Rysand stole Tamlin's girl.
his bride even.
Yes, his bride, so that's why he doesn't have any rights to her or whatever. But if they're mated, that's okay. So that's not a breaking of the law anymore. And Feyre seems to know that here. But also, she doesn't know some other things about Fae society, and that confuses me. Like, some things she just... But also, she doesn't explain it. She just says that's the way it is.
It stays like this the whole 3 chapters. Like, we don't really get any explanation of this mating bond.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it's sort of frustrating, because I don't know, like, what is given and what is not. Like, how does it work?
Yeah, that's true.
And given the fact that, spoiler alert, we do get a big lore dump in chapter 3 today, I was kind of mad that she just didn't ask questions, and questions that I want to know the answers to. Yeah, I don't get this mate thing at all. I mean, isn't it mentioned that if they could prove that Rysand and her are mated, like, how would you prove that? Isn't it just Rysand and Feyre both say, yeah, we're mates, but Tamlin will not believe them? What the fuck? How can you prove a mating bond? What is a mating bond?
Yeah.
Maybe you can smell it.
That frustrated me too. I think, of course, I had these questions in my mind while I was reading it, but I wasn't like, ask him about this right now.
I was.
Because she seems, or she appears in these chapters as if she already knows totally what it is. Like, she doesn't know all the rules that
Great.
pertain to it.
Good for you, Feyre.
Yeah, but that confuses me as well. Like, how Tamlin just once told her, like, yeah, there's this thing, it's called a mating bond. My parents had it, and it's like your soulmate. Thanks. Explaining a word with the same word. Best job.
Thanks. Yeah, I think my biggest question regarding the mating bond is if it nullifies any other relationships you had. Because both Rysand and Feyre seem to still acknowledge that she loved Tamlin, and they are like, well, you loved him. So what does it mean? Can you be mated to someone else and still love someone else and be with that other person? Or will that love always eventually vanish and go to pieces? Or like, what's the difference between being in love and being mated?
Wow, Meike. These are some very constructive and important questions. You should totally ask them if you happen to talk to a lord-dumping sexy shadow man the next time.
Oh, don't be so angry. I think it makes sense that Feyre didn't talk a lot in chapter 3. But maybe we should get through chapter 1 and 2 of this episode first before we talk about chapter 3. Feyre feels to be sort of as confused as we are, but not about the terms of the mating bond, just about this whole, well, what does that mean for Rysand and me and blah, blah, blah. But all she knows is that she lies in bed at night and the bed feels empty. And she's, she keeps thinking and thinking about the word maid. My maid, Rysand, my maid. And it felt sort of relatable to like being in love for the very first time when you're like a teenager and you kind of put your name next to your crush's name, and I'm like, well, yeah, that looks good. Oh, does it look good? Yeah, it looks good. We're fated. I thought that was kind of cute. But then she wakes up in the morning, and again, the first thing she feels is guilt. But now, because she ran away from Rysand, and I sort of get where these feelings are coming from, because she's like, well, just shortly before I ran away, I was like, I will never walk away from you, Rysand. And then he was honest to her, because she was demanding honesty, and then she ran away. But as I said last episode, I think it's a good idea she took her own time and space to just think over all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
she reacted a bit harshly. I mean, I was pretty much on Feyre's side, but to dump her mortally wounded mate just there on the doorstep and then vanish, it's rough.
Yeah, she's
It's
pretty
rough.
rough on him.
To me, like, not all of them, but like the overall emotional feel of these chapters worked for me very well. And just her like saying the sentence out loud of like, and I told him I wouldn't leave him, but then I left. I was just like, it's like too harsh to herself, but it's so tragic. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the next sentence is like, okay, girl, it's good that you think about your emotions. You can't just like, if you have to deal with something, just deal with it and then go back to him later.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The way she deals with it.
What does she do?
Well, at first she grows bored and then goes snooping around the house.
What does she do, Meike?
And then she finds...
What does she do?
She finds some
What?
art supplies. She finds paintbrushes and
no!
paints and like all jars full of paint.
And
then
also, she finds paper and canvases
just
How
saying.
convenient.
that she will totally use.
Totally. She will totally paint on the canvas.
Maybe she does some sketches first before she does the rest.
Vandalizes the house.
Spoiler.
Yes, she paints all day, all night long, all the fucking time, and she paints on fucking everything. The furniture, the walls, everything. But before we get into that, this is detail number 2 I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
Because she very specifically mentions the very first color she looks at
What is
is
it?
blue.
Ooh.
What do you think that means?
Why?
It caught me so off guard. She's like, and I'm looking at this jar of paint, and it is blue.
Meike, are you my English teacher? Why do I have to interpret shit into everything?
Why is
Because
it blue?
you chose to do this podcast.
Well, if one had to interpret something into this color.
One has to interpret into
I
this
think
color.
that one might make the connection that blue is a pretty night-themed color. And that's the end of my analysis.
What's Farah's eye color?
I don't
we
remember.
know that?
Brown.
I think it's basic.
Because and this is going way too far into this, but I remember when she talked to the bone carver, she first saw him appear as like a young boy with piercing blue eyes.
Yeah.
And since she draws eyes in this chapter, I kind of thought, maybe this is like a connection to her future, because I thought she saw the bone carver as her son. And I have no idea why his eyes should be blue if Farah's eyes aren't blue, because apparently Rysand's eyes are like violet.
I always forget that.
But yeah, that's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fae'd sees the color blue because the color blue is so innate to her because will be pregnant. I don't know.
Or maybe just because she's knightish.
Also, blue is just pretty.
I am blue.
I mean, she's sad right now and being blue, feeling blue. And because she paints the blue out of her, the blue of inside of her vanishes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very poetic.
Deep
I love
shit.
it.
Deep
That's
shit.
the closing statement
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
blue because the blue will be gone.
I have another observation.
Yes.
Because when she looks all through this cottage, she finds a lot of things like weapons and just a lot of personal belongings. And she describes that this cottage feels like there's just a family living here. And it shows us that she views the Court of Dreams as a family, and she also views herself as being part of that family, which I found quite nice. And for the knowledgeable listeners, they know I've been watching Vampire Diaries and have now ventured again into the originals, which is a very family-centric show. Not like for viewing people, but like the family. And one of the characters has a quote about family, which I, like, when I read it again, I was like, this, like, it touches me.
It's Valley Girl again.
It touches me.
It touches
No,
me.
but-
Deep down. Yeah, really. Oh, so deep.
No, but actually, I really like this quote. And he says, it's Elijah Michelson who says it. He says, family gives us a responsibility to love without condition. And I really like the use of responsibility because that implies that it obviously goes both ways. Like, as part of a family, you can maybe overcome differences or misgrievances between each other that you might not overcome with other people that are not family. Because you are family, you can overcome this.
Yeah. And that's also maybe the only important thing that signifies a family, because I assume that these vampires, sexy vampires, are all like blood related. But I mean, here it's not the case.
Yeah.
Like, this is a found family. I think it's nice for Fae'd to have found this family.
Because her original family sucks.
Yeah.
Original family.
The originals.
Yeah, they're calling themselves the original family.
Oh boy.
They're calling themselves that.
Yeah.
That's a bit pathetic. I mean, the family around Fae'd and Rysand, they could call themselves. I just thought of this name. I think it's great. The Wang.
The what?
The Wang. It's
Why?
a combination of wing and gang. They're the wing gang, the Wang.
But they already have a fun name.
They do?
They're the Court of Dreams.
Nah, that's just the whole court.
I mean,
Yeah, they are the court.
fun name is maybe an exaggeration, but they do have a gang name.
I like the Wang.
Court of Wang would have been fun.
The court of Wang.
Yes! I love it. They are Court of Wang now.
Nice. Good.
Okay. And luckily, at least one part of the family comes to visit Fae'd.
Yeah.
Morgan shows up.
Yes! I was so happy.
She brings the Court of Wang back into the cottage.
A court
And
of
she
Ding
is
and Dong.
very surprised when she sees what Fae'd has done to the cabin. Because Fae'd has, as we said, painted pretty much every surface in the
Yeah.
cabin. And I just noted down what she has painted. She has painted flowers, which I guess are like a thing for her to remember Elaine, because she used to paint flowers for Elaine when she painted her hometown. No,
And-
not the whole home.
She's super Banksy. The original
She
Banksy.
paints the town blue.
Hey.
When she painted her little home cabin.
Yeah.
And then she paints flames, which she used to paint for Nesta. So I think she started to paint what she always used to paint, you know, just getting back into it. She painted what she knows. And then she's starting to paint like bits and pieces of the Wang, you know, just like the colors of their wings and the colors of their hair. And I'm trying so hard to not break apart, but I'm looking at Lea, and Lea's so losing it about Wang.
The thing is, what she is painting of the wing is like the veins and stuff. So she starts painting the veins of the wing.
The blood of the Wang is deep in my veins.
Nice.
Wang blood is thicker than water.
The Wang, I love it. It's so stupid. Yeah, she's incorporating all of like their colors into this cabin, and then she's painting their eyes, and then Morrigan is like, well, paint my eyes and Azriel's eyes and Cassian's eyes all over here because we're watching over you.
How cute.
Which is
Wow.
sweet.
There are several things I'd like to add here.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
No, first of all, I really didn't expect her to paint like the whole cottage.
I was like, what the fuck? Do you have no sense of other people's property?
Yeah. I can just really see Morrigan entering and being like, oh, wow, great. You found your passion again.
Yeah, I
What the fuck?
agree. I do see Morrigan reacting like that. But I think, first of all, it's a nice callback.
Yes.
And, you know, it's kind of like a marking of territory. Not like, this is mine, you don't belong here, but I do belong here.
She could have peed in the corner as well.
I liked it. It shows that she's comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's cute. I just had to laugh. At first I was like, what? You painted the house? And then when Morrigan enters, she doesn't say like, oh, wow, you found your passion again. She doesn't say like, wow, it looks so beautiful. She's like, well, you've certainly been busy. Which kind of sounds sarcastic. So I think I've said it before. It would be so funny if Feyre was like a bad painter. Because she has never really showed anyone what she's painting. And then she did to Tamlin, but blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And just the thought of Morrigan entering and being like, what the fuck? Just seeing those little novice paint strokes and like children drew on the walls. That would be funny. I don't think it's the case, but it would be very...
No, but I think Morrigan's reaction makes it more real. Like, if she had entered and would have been like, oh, this is amazing what you did here. I love it. It's like, okay. But the way she's like, wow, okay. It's like...
Well, she certainly didn't expect it.
No, she didn't expect it, but it's also not like she's mad. She just is like, okay, I guess this is here now. Let's use it to have fun. And then you mentioned that Feyre is painting eyes of almost all of them. But she starts with only painting Amren's eyes above the bedroom. And that freaks Morrigan out a bit. And she's like, why did you do that? And then Feyre's like, because Amren is always watching. And I was just like God, because we had this theory of maybe she's like this being that has been transported. Maybe she's God. And not like
confirmed.
When I thought about that, I didn't even think of like I don't know how like the Christian belief says it that God is always watching you. I don't know if it's just like Santa, but I was thinking of The Great Gatsby, and I distinctly remember that we were analyzing it in English class, and that the eyes that they are driving by of this, I don't know, this advertisement with these glasses, and that they are supposed to represent the eyes of God that they are always watching.
Okay.
So that's that.
Great. The great Amren, always watching.
What I found really funny is that Morrigan's like, well, paint my eyes next to Amren's so we can watch over the guys doing their guy thing. And then she tells us the story of how the man part of the Wang, the man of the Wang. I'm sorry. No, I'm actually not sorry. How the man of the Wang use the cabin to get away from everything and drink and hunt and just do manly things. And she enjoys the thought of now always Amren and Morrigan being there and watching over them while they do their secret man thingies, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep them in check. Not like
Right.
actually keep them in check, but funnily.
Funnily, yeah. And then we learn about Morrigan's family back in the Court of Nightmares, especially her dad, Keir, who is apparently slowly healing, though Morrigan might have broken a bone or two more.
Wild.
What the fuck?
Wild.
Okay.
Okay, so much about family. Well, stick to your chosen family, not your given family, I guess.
Yeah, unless your given family happens to be also your chosen family.
Yes. She tells Feyre that she always goes to the Court of Nightmares of her own free will, that Rhysand is not making her, that she, well, likes is maybe the wrong word, but she goes there to keep the professional thing between those two courts, the Court of Nightmare and the Court of Dreams, up. She wants to be an official person that does important stuff for her court, even though her family and her are, on bad terms. But then she's kind of like, well, I know Rhysand doesn't really like it. He doesn't like my family. And Cassian and Azriel, they fucking hate my family for what they did to me. And maybe one day, I will give them the gift of letting them kill my family. And didn't we have the theory that this short novella thingy could be like a Christmas AU story? So I'm really hoping that in that short Christmas story, Morrigan gives Cassian and Azriel the gift of go fucking kill my family. And that's the book.
That's so wild.
Cassian and
That's
Azriel
amazing.
killing Keir and his fucking wife. Yeah.
Here,
Great.
my Christmas gift. Kill my family.
And if not,
That
I'm
would be
gonna
an
write
awesome Christmas story.
that. Yeah.
Sure.
They use like sugar canes as weapons. Amazing.
You've been naughty.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What I also loved was Feyre's next question, because she is now finally asking the real questions.
What's
she's
the real
asking,
question?
have you done Azriel? Will you do Azriel?
Yes.
Have you worn wings?
Will you wear
wear
wings?
wings?
Will you do as?
Will you do it? And then Morrigan's like, no, I've sworn off dating any of my friends after Cassian and I that didn't work out. And also, Azriel thinks too bad of himself. I could strip in front of him and he wouldn't do anything. And I was like, what?
Why?
What? No, that's so sad. But then I didn't even have the time to think about how tragic it is that Azriel does things so low of himself that he thinks he doesn't deserve Morrigan. Because I thought it was so damn funny when Morrigan was like, well, but he has other lovers. He has people he thinks he's good enough for.
Yeah. 2 questions. Who are these other lovers? And why am I not one of them?
Yeah, who are they? Who?
Ooh, are you an owl?
Yeah.
Do your impression of Azriel, but as an owl.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Nice.
Thank you. That's what I do at night.
Yeah.
Well, Morrigan says, no, I won't do anything with Azriel because la-di-da-di-da, we've went into it. But then she says, paint the other eyes too and put Azriel's next to mine. So I felt like that was kind of a sign.
Oh, I'm supposed to interpret something again.
Yes.
Am I not?
She's like, put Azriel's eyes next to mine and then Cassian's next to Amren. So I think she intentionally wanted Azriel's eyes next to her. And then is this whole chunk about like painting metaphors where Fae'd is mixing their colors and the colors are swirling together like all their lives entwining, and I want that to be a sign.
Okay. Have your sign. There you go. It's a sign now. More as confirmed.
And then I think it's the end of the chapter where she asks, anyways, is it so bad that you're his mate? Like, is that the thing you're angry about? Like, oh no, it's him. And then Fae'd's like, no, it's not. Yay. She's just angry about the situation and not about it being Rysand.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, I guess. I feel like if the story would have been like, well, Tamlin is your mate, she'd be like, oh, fuck.
Well, then she wouldn't give Tamlin food. Spoiler alert. Well, shall we then get into chapter 53?
Yes, we can.
Which barely has a right to be its own chapter. Because it's like 2 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Do you have any specific to say about it? Or do you just want us to move
me?
on? Yeah?
No, I just want us to move on.
Okay.
Just move on already!
Because we have 3 chapters to get through today.
Okay, sorry. So Morrigan stays the night, but then leaves after breakfast.
Cute.
And with that leaves Fae'd to her own thoughts again. And with that time and space, I guess, Fae'd envisions her future at Valaris, which now looks very bright in her imagination. She kind of talks about opening up her own shop in the Jewel of Valaris, the Rainbow of Valaris, where she could finally find the strength to go there, go to the artist's quarter and have her own shop teaching art therapy for free. And then sell her paintings to pay back Rysand for whatever he already gave her. And he'd be always there with her and he'd be happy and laughing. And she's like, I'm thinking about this, like, I want this. And
that's nice.
Wow, I have not thought about my own future for so long. And I was like, oh, that's so good.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's a bit funny how picture perfect she imagines her future, but I feel like the fact that she imagines a future is quite a big step for a person that has been depressed for so long. Good for her.
Also, she sees demand and wants to provide for it. Like, Valaris doesn't have a therapist, and she's like, I'm gonna fix that. I will be that therapist.
Well, Valaris has 1 therapist, but that's Rysand.
He is not a good therapist.
Yeah.
He is not a therapist at all.
I love when stories kind of take the turn of a person using their healing journey to help others.
It's very nice.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's also why I like stories that don't end at the happy end. I like stories that kind of have the moment after. You defeated someone and then it doesn't stop, but you see how they rebuild and heal. And
that's nice, yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It's somewhat rare, but I like this book does it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you're right, Lukas. Chapter 53 is very short and it ends already with Fae'd being like, well, 5 more days I spend by myself and then I kind of get lonely and annoyed and I paint some more and then suddenly someone's at the door knocking and I'm like, oh, Morrigan's back, how nice. And then she opens the door, but it's not Morrigan.
It's Tamlin. It's not Tamlin.
At this point, when I read this, we weren't sure if we were doing 2 or 3 chapters. So I made a deliberate point of not looking at the next sentence of the following chapter that I won't see who it is. And I was like thinking, ooh, who could it be?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not Rysand. That's too basic. It's not Rysand. So I was ruling him out immediately.
Yeah, me too.
And then I was like, is it Tamlin? Because I'm still rooting for this confrontation. Like, I don't want them to get back together, but I want them to confront each other. Or, have that clash.
I would want it to be on Fae'd's terms, though. I wouldn't want him to just appear and force her to talk to him. I would like it for Fae'd to be like, okay, I'm ready to talk to him.
Also, I thought he wouldn't knock. If he thought Fae'd was in there, or if he knew Fae'd was in there, he would just go in.
He'd break down the door.
Yeah, because he thinks probably that she's held there against her will, because he's an ignorant asshole. And then I was like, so maybe it's Lucian who, oh, maybe he got lost in the mountains and then he found the cabin and then they can be friends again.
Yeah, I
that
wanted
would've
it to
been
be
nice.
Yeah,
Lucian
same.
too.
Yeah. So I was pretty certain that it was Rysand because I could not keep my eyes from slithering over to the next page. I just read the first sentence.
So you weren't certain, you just knew.
Yeah. That's certainty.
Knowing a certainty.
I guess.
You heard it here first. Poetry by Lukas. Knowing is certainty.
But yeah, it is Rysand. And she lets him into the cabin. And emotionally,
thanks for
and
clarifying.
maybe physically at some point later as well. Joke. But Rysand appears to be very relieved to finally have found Feyre after searching for her nearly everywhere. And this was where I was like, when he was there, I was like, okay, maybe I can get behind him being here. Maybe
You can
Morrigan...
get behind him.
Maybe Morrigan told him, which would be, but maybe she was like, okay, Feyre now needs to talk to you. I'm gonna make this happen now. I think she's ready. But then he's like, I searched for you everywhere. Morrigan wouldn't tell me where you were, so I just had to fly around and look for you wherever I could. I was like, no,
Yeah.
why didn't you give her space?
Yeah.
Why not let her come to you?
I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
That was not a good move.
I think Farah kind of plays it down or makes it a bit better with the observation that Rysand would definitely just fly away again if she said the word.
Yeah.
So I guess-
I think, like, I agree with Meike. I don't feel good about him ignoring her wishes to be left alone. But I think he probably was afraid that she never ever wanted to talk to him again. And he was like, okay, I have to explain myself to her. I don't want to lose her. I want to explain myself. And if she then still doesn't want me, that's okay. And what I was just thinking about, like, the last times they had a fight, Feyre was always like, I hope he still comes. And he never came.
Right.
And so this time he did. And, like, I don't like it, but I guess Feyre likes it.
Yeah, at least she likes it enough to offer to heat up some soup and have a conversation. And at the offer of soup, Rysand nearly has a heart attack. And Farrah's like, huh? What's up with that? And then he tells her that in Fae tradition, I don't know, when the female part of the mating bond offers the male part of the bond food, it means they accept the bond.
That feels
Yeah.
loaded. I
What?
don't like that.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint why, but it just feels
I think
weird.
it's this weird putting women into the kitchen thing.
Yeah, I mean, he says
Yeah,
it comes
maybe.
from, like, when we were beasts. But, huh? What?
What?
Huh? Like when they were kind of birds and they traded their seeds, or what? What?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that
this
it
is,
also feels weird because like Feyre doesn't know that and it still works that way. Like she almost accidentally set Dobby free.
Yeah, just imagine he wouldn't have told her and then he would be like, ha! You accepted, bitch! I trapped you!
psych.
That's honestly something that Tamlin would do.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like, if she then says, I don't want this, does that mean, haha, you can't do anything about this? Like, the bond doesn't magically change, right?
But what would happen if she doesn't want the... I mean, what happens
I don't
at
know.
denial? Does the bond
don't
just
know.
disappear?
I don't know.
Can that
Spoiler,
happen?
we don't find out.
It's so confusing.
Also, why just the female? Like, do only the women have the chance to deny the
That's
bond?
another
Can you
thing.
as a man be like, no, I don't want it?
I don't-
But she gives you food and you just have to...
So we don't know, and I think an even more pressing question to me is, are there gay mating bonds?
Wow, you're right.
What if there's two males? Do they just
There's
have
no
to?
food then. No one gets to eat.
Go back to bed and starve.
Well, they can still exchange their seeds.
What I was wondering at this point was like, if you, like, so Rysand does feel the mating bond snap into place. He can feel the mating bond. He's like, okay, I can see this is a mating bond. I know what this is. I can identify it. I know she's my mate. But women, or females, have to accept this mating bond. So, do women not feel the mating bond the same way men do? Or is it just Feyre who doesn't know what the mating bond feels like?
I think it's maybe just Feyre who doesn't know it. And I mean, she obviously feels a bond, but she just thought, that's the bargain to two thing.
Okay.
That's kind of a mask. I don't know. You know, at some points, I know this is a tense situation between them, but I wish I could just step into the book and be like, okay, sorry guys, sorry to interrupt. I have a few more questions. Please, Rysand.
Pause here.
Explain it to me.
But it is a weird choice, like from a writing perspective. This is such an important detail of your world and your magic system. Like it fuels this whole society. And she doesn't explain to us what it is. Like, it's just a word.
Do you know how Netflix shows nowadays, like, put very obvious law and plot information because they assume everyone's on their phones? I want that in this book. So I should have done that.
And it's weird because I feel like in Throne of Glass, she also doesn't really explain the mating bond, but she puts a lot of like emotion in it. I feel like even though I don't understand it, everything that is connected to the mating bond is very emotional, and I understand the emotional impact mating or being someone's mate or not being someone's mate has, I guess. But here it's just like, well, haha, I'm your mate. Oh no, really? Yeah, give me some soup or not. I don't care. Like,
I don't fucking know.
It doesn't feel like a big thing yet, though Feyre is very
affected,
feeling very big about it, and Rysand is also very affected by it, but I don't feel very affected by it because I don't know what's going on.
As of right now, hot take maybe. I mean, I don't dislike this book, but I feel like it would be better if the concept of mating bonds would just be non-existent right now.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
I don't know.
Maybe we should just keep going because there's a lot of wild shit and revelations and retcons and all sort of stuff connected to the mating bond. And this is going to be interesting because I think I'm going to be a mediator because we've briefly talked about this chapter outside of the podcast.
How dare you?
He means you and me, Lea.
Oh, right. I remember. It was today.
It was a few hours ago when we had a cute little walk.
I thought you had a deep discussion without me.
You two just briefly mentioned this chapter and Lea was like, I loved it. It was so great. Such great revelations. And Meike was like, I fucking hated it. Stupid fucking chapter. I hate it. And then I stopped you right there. I put a pause because I feel pretty neutral towards this chapter, I guess. So I'm in the middle here and I now want to unpause this fight, this intense discussion. What are your stances on this chapter?
Well, I'm not at the point of hating yet, but maybe hate is a very strong word that I like to use in this podcast because it, But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to talk about what I don't like about this chapter later. I just have to say my notes for this chapter are not very detailed because I just have like 3 chunks. I didn't summarize like all of the story and all of what was said that's happening because I just put like the topics of what is said into it, and some of it I like and some parts of it I really don't like. So that's
okay, fair.
Then I have an opening statement as well for this open fight now.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
I hardly wrote any plot points down, and like often I couldn't quite put my emotions into words, and I just wrote down asterisk crying asterisk and then a heart, because like the way this chapter was written just felt very emotional to me, and I really liked that and I enjoyed that, and I was just like very often while I read it I was like no. So
okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I liked about it.
But the part that's happening just now in the chapter is not what I dislike. It's Feyre being like, okay, well, if that's the whole tradition, how about you tell me your side of the story, and then I decide if I want to give you the soup or not. Side note, I was very confused about Feyre being like, I can't cook, I'm just gonna reheat the soup.
Yes!
Because she used to feed her family. What?
Like, who cooked at home? I was so confused when she said that.
I love it. You're screaming so loud, Lea. Your headset is just cutting off.
We did not hear a single word.
Nothing came to us. It's probably on your microphone for the podcast, but not.
Well, I will repeat it for you in a bit tamer voice. So I had the same exact thought. Like, no one in her family did anything in the household. Like, who cooked at home? As if she didn't cook at home.
I mean, maybe she did, but she's just bad at it. Maybe that's why Nesta is always in such a bad mood.
Yeah, but then she's still, saying I can't cook. Just from her, it sounds like I don't cook. I don't know what to do. She must have made the food, and that is cooking. If it's not incredibly good,
You can say you're a bad cook.
I guess, but I can't cook. No, girlie, you fed your family for several years.
Or did someone else cook the food that she provided?
Maybe Elaine did. I could see Elaine at least cooking.
Maybe.
Nesta wouldn't cook. Maybe Nesta's just cooking inside.
Let her cook.
Yeah. So, okay. What we're going to do now, we're on in this courtroom now. I am the judge. And, Meike, you're the head attorney. You present your 3 topics now. And then you will both present your points. And by the end, I will decide if I like this chapter or not.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin with the tame part of the chapter, I guess, where I
Yes.
don't have any strong feelings against it. Because we finally learn the story of how Rysand was once captured. I feel like it has been hinted that there was a time when Rysand was captured, but no one told the story. Now Rysand tells the story. It was a very long time ago, and he was captured during the war by Amarantha for the King of Highburn. And Amarantha kidnapped him just because he was like the son of a High Lord. She did not have like a personal vendetta against him or anything. She just captured him to like get to the court and, be evil, I guess. She was very caught up with Jurian, so she didn't really care about Rysand. She just killed his soldiers and tortured him, but it was not personal.
Yeah.
So while he was captured, he plotted against Amarantha, and he one day made the plan to break his wings apart because he was like chained to his wings, and he was like, okay, I would be willing to sacrifice my wings to kill her because she's a threat to all of Prithian. But it never comes to that, because that's the day Jurian and Amarantha dueled on the battlefield, which we knew, because then she sort of ripped him into pieces, and that's when she took his eye and his finger and put it in her necklace and around her throat, I guess. I don't know. And that distracted the evil forces of Highburn enough so Rysand's father and Cassian and Azriel could come and capture poor Rysand. So no dad, Amarantha, and no sacrifice wings, I guess.
So they saved him.
Can we talk about the wings for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Because he says, yeah, the Highburn people, they were so dumb, they didn't know I was Illyrian, or they would have threatened to cut my wings off so that I would divulge some information about the Night Court armies. And I was just like, they did torture his wings. How could they not know he was Illyrian? What the fuck?
I was also very confused about that. Does that mean there are other high Fae species that have wings?
I mean, there are, because in book 1, there was this blue fairy from Summercourt.
Yes, but it was a fairy.
Not a high
All
fae.
right.
But Rysand is a high Fae.
Yeah, I was also confused about that, because like even if they don't know what an Illyrian is, and if I would see a person with wings, it would feel like a logical step in my torture process to at one point threaten to tear those wings off. Like, come on. This is torturing 101.
Especially since they are hurting his wings. I think they're pierced with ash arrows and left inside. That was just weird. But then later when his father and Cassian and Azriel arrive, they don't free him. Like they kind of free him, but then they don't.
Yeah, they take him back to Night Court, but they leave the Ash Arrows Inn for a while as a punishment from Rysand's father to Rysand for being captured and being weak and stupid.
What a pussy.
His father is just a really, really mean asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, this book does not have any good fathers in it.
No.
yet.
Nice.
The one good thing that Tamlin ever did was kill his father.
Yeah. But what maybe it's so weird, the whole talk about, cutting off my wings. I would probably die if you cut off my wings just because of emotional trauma and blah, blah, blah. Maybe this is just put in here to be like foreshadowing. I feel like at some point something will happen to Rysand's wings, and she's like trying to remind us that those wings are important.
And also, side note, that is a bit depressing, but the fact that Illyrians think that about their wings makes it that much more gruesome that they have a tradition of clipping the wings of female Illyrians. Like, what the fuck? So, that concludes topic 1. As I have gathered, this is not your discussion point.
No.
You're not that torn.
This is just backstory, I guess.
And daddy issues, which is good.
Daddy issues, right?
Yeah.
Right. Always good.
If there's one thing that unites you two, it's daddy issues.
Yes. Pain and trauma, all the good stuff. And then he talks more about his, connection to Amarantha, because he continues to hate her, because when the treaty was forged, he did not get any punishment for what she did to his soldiers and for all the torturing she did in the name of Hybern. And he continues to hate her and still plans to kill her. And then when she comes back to Prythian after a while, like 50 years ago, he makes the plan to go to this gathering she has under the mountain and slip into her mind and make her confess all the evil things she has done in front of all the other leaders of the courts, so she will finally get punishment, or he can kill her and people know why he does it. But, as we all know, that plan did not work out, but now we know why it didn't work out. And this is not what I don't like about this chapter, but it's just something I don't like about Rysand, because he was just, once again, so damn stupid with his plans. Because his plan, it sounds sort of solid, but then he does not tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
He goes under the mountain without his friends, without his best fighter, and without his best spy. And because of that, he does not notice when she gives him poisoned wine, drinks the fucking poisoned wine, and then is surprised that he can't use his powers. So she takes control of him and all the other lords and all of Prythian. Stupid, because Rysand is stupid!
Yeah, I agree. That is stupid.
This whole Amarantha deal could just have been avoided.
Right, if he had Azriel by his side and Azriel would have been like, well, maybe don't drink the wine, bro. Or if he had me by his side, I have always been the one to be like, oh, don't drink family wine.
Yeah. What I found interesting, he says, in the moment I felt my power slipping away, I just managed to erase Valaris from every Night Court member that was there. And I also sent a message to the Court of Dreams, or the Wang. And also I managed to put a shield around it that I then clung to Azriel and Morrigan and stuff so they couldn't leave. He managed to do a lot in that time.
Oh, those were some stressful 5 seconds.
Impressive.
Yeah, maybe he could have tried to wipe out Amarantha, but sure.
Yeah.
Well, he says he couldn't do it because she was able to, she trained shielding against his powers in time.
Yeah.
So, this is where I had a minor conspiracy thing. Because we know that Amarantha and Tamlin have a history, that they have known each other for quite a while. And I wondered maybe that Amarantha has such a trained shield against Demati powers because she has learned to protect herself against Tamlin.
Perfect.
Because she knows Tamlin has Demati powers, and she has learned to protect herself from his, because he would maybe try to be like, well, don't hit on me, girl.
Perfect conspiracy. No notes. Tamlin is a secret Demati. Proven. Moving on.
Then we learn a bit more about this abusive relationship between Rysand and Amarantha. And I don't know, it tells us a bit more about like that Rysand never wanted it, but that he did it to get close to her and to get her to trust him so he could at some point betray her and end this evil reign. But the way it is written, at some points, it's so weird. Like, I just want to read a few parts to you, just taken out of context, but sometimes it just reads so weird. He's like, well, I knew it wasn't about fucking me, but more about like getting revenge at my father. So if that's what she wanted, then that's what she would get. I made her beg, I made her scream, and I used my lingering powers to make it so good for her that she wanted more, craved more. And then later he's like, but for 50 years, whenever I was inside of her, I'd think about killing her. And she had no idea. None, because I was so good at my job that she thought I enjoyed it too. And I was just like, my boy,
I made you come.
Maybe you got a bit lost in your scheme. What? I mean, I totally get this thing, and I get that it's supposed to be like a tragic story of sexual abuse that he kind of felt like he needed to endure to get close to her and hurt her. But the way he's like bragging about being so good at fake sex, that it's like, Amarantha never knew I hated her because she had such a good time. And I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
must have sucked for her. Oh no.
It is a weird sentence, you know, but it also is like an intense and tragic sentiment. But I guess I kind of brushed over the things where he was like, oh, I'm so good at it.
Yeah, it's a weird way to write about something tragic,
That's true,
I guess.
yeah.
But he's also telling the story, and maybe he's not at the point of healing yet where he can, you know, reflect in like a meaningful way about it and be more like, well, I'm just talking about the facts because I'm not ready to like get into the emotional part of it. I don't know.
He is talking about his strategy here, and he's like, I guess I have to make it so good for her that she doesn't question what the other things I do.
Yeah, and then it gets into like present times because he tells us that 3 years ago he started having dreams about a human girlie. So I guess
And this might be the topic that divides you two.
Yeah, it might very well be. So yeah, this girly pop is Feyre, as we all know, because she's his mate. And I guess when he says 3 years ago, this means when she turned 18, which is good, I guess. The mating bond started when she was at the age of consent and not when she was born.
It would have been weird. And then 15 years ago, I saw this 5-year-old girl in this rich house.
Yeah, I didn't think about the age. Thank God.
I do. And
You do.
It's not a good time. I don't recommend it.
Don't go there, it's a dark place. So yeah, from here on, it's basically a recap episode, I'd say. We learn about a lot of moments from sort of like Rysand's perspective. We learn that he like at first only saw like glimpses, like vague glimpses of Feyre's life. And then when this bond manifested more, I guess, it became clearer and he started to get a grip that who Feyre would be and where Feyre could be. And then we learned that he intentionally came to Calanmai that night when Feyre met him for the very first time, when he was still Tim the Night Guy to us. Because he saw in like his visions or dreams that Feyre would be there. And then we also learned that he threatened Tamlin, so Tamlin would send Feyre away from harm's reach, I guess. And then it's a bit more about how like, oh, I did that and that because I wanted this and that to happen. I don't know. Do you have any specific moment from that recap that you want to go into more in detail, or?
Well, I guess for me it's this later a bit more of this, but kind of the retcons that are a bit unnecessary. Like when he talks about those, you know, those 3 guys who wanted to do unspeakable things to her at Calanmai, that he then reveals that he later like captured them and took them to Amarantha and penetrated their minds to make them think that they are spies working against Amarantha, and then Amarantha tortured them? Like, why? What? Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was also like, I guess just Rysand things. But, I mean, the thing is, Amarantha let him go, or the way I understood it, Amarantha let him go because she said, bring me some spies. And if he hadn't found any spies, he probably wouldn't have gotten punished or whatever, I don't know. So he brought her some spies, quote unquote.
I don't know.
The first thing that stood out to me was, like, he describes how these images came to him and they, like, brought him light and joy in his dark time down there. And then, like, one day he tried to reach out back to these images and send one image of his own that soothes him. It was the image of the night sky. And, like, we just learned that the images that Feyre painted in her hut were, like, the flowers for Elaine, the flames for Nesta, and the night sky for her. And it was obviously the night sky that he sent her. And I was just like, oh my god! Oh, that's so cute!
Cute.
I guess.
And that's so sweet. And that I was like, oh, yeah. And then when he tells her about how they met at Calanmai the first time, and the first words he said to her were, there you are, I've been looking for you. And how he actually meant them and not just as a, like, cover for her, but like, oh my god, I have been looking for you for so long and now you're here. I was just like, oh, because I didn't know how to put it into words. I wrote down heartbreak, heartache, just love.
Okay, there we have it. Judging from Meike's slightly displeased tendency towards disgusted face, I think that might be a point where she disagrees with you.
I would like to have you finish first. Are you done with what you took away? Because I think my statement is like a finishing statement for the chapter.
Okay.
For the whole chapter?
No, but like for the moments or the recap moments.
Maybe I'm not a good judge. The other lawyer is looking as if she's gonna disagree. Maybe we do a cut here. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I just really like the parallel between them, that he pulled her out of a depressive hole, but first she already pulled him out of that hole he was in. And that's just, ah. And then Feyre remembers how she experienced the moment of resurrection. And he's explaining like, oh yeah, I grabbed that cord between us and ripped it tight. And how she's like, yes, I felt that at the end of the cord was home. And at that time she was like, Tamlin is my home. I'm going back to him. But no, it's actually right then. And he's her home. Yay. Nice.
Yay.
And I just found it pretty epic how he was like, all of us 7 are here. We're bringing her back. None of you guys are leaving. If I have to force you, I'll do that. But all of them were willing to bring her back anyway. So I really like that as well.
Surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Those are all the thoughts I had.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lawyer Lea.
Lawyer.
For your statement, and lawyer for your statement. Lawyer Meike, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't like the way you're like putting Lea and me against each other right now, because I'm really not trying to be mean. And I like that Lea is able to enjoy this the way I think it is supposed to be enjoyed. I think this chapter is supposed to tell you about this epic love story those two will have and have already had in a way. But what I just really, really don't like is that it uses these, I think in a way, tropey things. But I'm not angry about the tropes. You can use tropes if the tropes are fun. But I don't like this narrative of it was Rysand all along. Because I've been very vocal about how cool I think it is that Feyre is like not the chosen one, but just someone that sort of stumbled into this world and then gained her role as like the hero of the story. And I also like that Feyre and Rysand got put together and then are finding their story. And for the book now to be like, oh no, it was Rysand who sort of stalked you and came to this place because he was trying to find you. And it was Rysand who did that, and it was Rysand who did this, and all of it was always Rysand. Rysand has always been working towards this end goal. And for so much of it to happen like off screen, because I really like what you said, Lea, about how he pulled her out of this depressive hole after she pulled him out. But she does not know that. You know, she knows how much of like an anchor he was to her when she was in that bad stage. But she does not know how much she helped him. And I think this is a very formative part of a relationship when you can experience how much help you are to the other person. And while it is nice that she helped him, she was not there when she helped him. You know, he's basically just like, oh, you've been so good to me. I need you so much. And you did so much for me and blah, 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 blah. I feel so connected to you. And she's just like, well, yeah, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. This angers me that this is like, in a way, it feels less fated now than it was before. I know I guess it should feel like, oh, such a big thing. It was always Rysand. They're like made for each other. But for me, it just feels like, it is all like someone worked very hard towards it. And I don't like that. I like the way they stumbled together and then found their rhythm and now work together pretty well in a way. And I don't like how now the book is like, no, it has always been Rysand. You know, everything that happened, Rysand was always also there. It's kind of like in like maybe time travel movies or movies in which someone forgot like a detail. They do these recap moments where you see a moment from the movie or series and then in the background the other person is already there and doing something and you're like, oh, they've always been there. I also don't like that. Also, it in a way felt like this 2010-ish trend where authors used to publish either like bonus chapters or even full books from the perspective of the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think Twilight has it, and I think 50 Shades of Grey has it, and a lot of other books. And I don't know, I'm never a big fan of someone telling me the same thing again, but involving the other person so much. So, yeah. I don't know. This just, hate is a big word, but it just did not invoke this feeling of grand love story, but of like cheap, manipulative fate-ish, I guess. I don't know. I don't like that it... Yeah, I think the big thing I don't like is it has always been Rysand. Because I want it to be Rysand now, but...
Yeah, I understand your point.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do too. And I just wanted to give my verdict.
Yes, please.
As a judge. I think I need to take some time. I wish this podcast would have ads because this would be the perfect opportunity. But no. I see both of your points. I agree, Lea, that it's a fun chapter. It evokes some emotions. But I think I have to lean slightly more towards Meike. Like I see that it's a fun plot twist, but I just feel like it would have been better if it would not be the case.
Are you just saying that because you want to sleep in my bed tonight?
Would you not let him sleep in your bed if he said otherwise?
No, of course.
Would I have to sleep in Lea's bed if I would have been on her side?
You're choosing now which person you're going to live with.
But she's sick and I don't want to get sick.
Well, tough luck.
No. I just agree with you because you argued your point very well.
No, I don't think this is about like taking any sides.
No. And I also feel like, I've said this in this episode, that I feel like the book would just be kind of better if this whole mate thing wouldn't exist. And I still stand by that feeling because, it was nice to have a not chosen one story. And sometimes I think it's just... Yeah, it's cool that this is a plot twist and he's been there all along, but sometimes it's just unnecessary. And I feel like this is a case where it's just unnecessary. So this was a fun courtroom time. Even though I lean slightly more towards Meike, I don't think I can give a final verdict. I think our listeners just have to act as the jury, and maybe I can put a poll on Spotify. Who's right? Who's more right here?
I don't think this is about being right or wrong. It's
yes, it is. It's always about being right.
Okay, I just think it's interesting how different you can experience.
Yeah, totally.
Same.
Like the same story.
Yeah, but all in all, what I found funny about this chapter is, well, Feyre is very, very passive for quite some pages, because this is just a Rysand monologue chapter. But every once in a while, Feyre would drop in with descriptions of how she's dying inside, and it gets increasingly more funny. My heart stopped beating. Okay, so she just died. And then a few lines later, I wasn't sure I was breathing. And then later she's like, my lips wobbled. And then I think my favorite sentence is like, there was such silence in my head.
That is really a strong sentence.
Now it's no thoughts, head empty, Feyre.
Nice. So is that the end of chapter 50?
Well,
No, the end of chapter 54 is that he tells her he loves her and she gives him soup. End.
Good soup.
and she says, then eat. And I wrote down, so simple, such relief, such party.
Such party.
I think that described the feelings inside of me.
I will throw a party because we're almost at the end of this book. What the fuck? When did this happen?
Right.
It's only a couple of, maybe like 15 chapters left. I think it's 15 chapters.
We're also being cheeky little cheaters and do 3 chapters instead of 2. So
Well, we're not cheeky. Sergeant Mess is cheeky for putting 2 pages long chapters in there. Well, I'm excited for the rest of this book.
I'm looking forward to the ending because my dad told me that he read the books because we're doing the podcast. He does not listen to the podcast, but he reads the book because we're doing a podcast about the books. Don't ask me. He's angry at me for doing the podcast in English.
Yeah, our parents should hold their own podcasts and
Maybe they should do a podcast
and be angry about us.
podcasting. So my dad read the books. He has read the first book and he didn't really like it, but he was like, oh, well, sure, I guess. And then he read the second book and he was like, I don't know if I'm going to read the third one. And then he finished the second book and he was like, oh, I was in such a good mood. I immediately started reading the third one. So I'm like, ooh, really looking forward to
Is
how...
Tamlin gonna die?
I don't really talk to my dad about what he thinks about I don't really talk to my dad. No, I don't really talk to my dad what he thinks about the characters. So I don't know what his stand on Tamlin is, but I feel like he doesn't like Tamlin because
Your dad
he's a
should come on the
reasonable
pod.
person. My dad should what?
Your dad should come on the pod.
I'm just going to translate for him. He speaks English. I don't know. He's just too lazy to listen to English.
Yeah. Where were we?
We, Lea, were at the end of this episode and thus at the beginning of Recommendation Corner,
Random.
where we bring you, our listeners, a random recommendation of stuff that moved us, that inspired us,
That made us laugh.
or stuff that came to our minds when we were trying to think of a recommendation last minute because we forgot to bring one.
Speaking about yourself.
No, I thought of mine yesterday. But I stole it from you, Meike.
Well, then enlighten us, please.
Oh, enlighten is a fitting kind of, I guess. Yesterday, Mike and I, we wanted to watch some stuff on our television.
Television.
And she recommended a documentary series on Netflix. It's called Night on Earth. And I want to recommend that specifically because it's pretty cool. They use like night vision cameras to show what wildlife does when the world is asleep.
Nice.
And it's pretty cool. And also I just want to recommend the concept of watching a nature documentary because I feel like I do that very infrequently, even though every time I sit down and watch a nature documentary, I always enjoy the fuck out of it.
I think you have to be in the right mood to do it.
Yeah.
You have to have a documentary face. But if you have one, damn, that's good.
So maybe this could be a nudge for you to get into that phase and just if you want some calm fun, watch a documentary. Watch that specific one.
Calm fun. I'd like to remind you, we just sat there like 2 hours ago, bawling our eyes out about an ape who has no friends and is freezing.
No.
That was so sad. Like this documentary took such a dark, like, slight spoilers for Night on
No.
Earth. But there was this ape, and the narrator, she was talking about how they need to cuddle up together to be warm at night, and then it cuts to this lonely ape, and she's like, he does not have any friends.
I want
He
to
might
cuddle with
die."
him.
And I was like, can I be your friend? Abe, I will cuddle you.
Oh no.
That, yeah, you're right. That's not calm fun. That made us very emotional.
It did.
That sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
What's your recommendation, Lea?
My recommendation is very simple. It is not deep at all. And it made me laugh a lot. And like every video I watched about it made me laugh so much. And I think people are discovering toys again that they used in their childhood. And I think in the 90s, or maybe, I mean, I've played with it as well. So it was still a thing in the early 2000s. The so-called groan tube was a thing. And it's just this tube
What the fuck?
that you turn around and it does this sound. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. And like every video I find of it with, sometimes they're memes about this thing, or they're just people finding this again or using it again or imitating the sound. It just makes me laugh. It's especially good like at night when you're supposed to be already sleeping, but it's like 3 p.m. when you're watching on your phone this groan tube, and then there's the sound, oh, and it's just amazing. Just embrace the groan tube.
Nice. Yeah.
That made
thanks.
me nostalgic.
Yeah. And your impression of the groan tube made me laugh. So it worked. It already
Nice.
worked. You already made one person happy.
You're welcome.
Two.
2 persons.
Person.
Okay, then what's the final recommendation of the second happy person?
My recommendation is actually one that has been long overdue. I can't believe I have not yet recommended this. It is coincidentally also television or like film, but you know, mine is fictional, yours is documentary, so you can choose in what mood you are. My recommendation is my favorite movie, and it is The Fall by director Tazem Singh. I feel like I make every person I like watch this movie because it is so good. It is somewhat unknown. I think it's resurfacing because it has been put on Mubi last year, I think. And also Lea Pace, who is in it, who's the main character in it,
Amazing, man.
is gaining more and more recognition. So people are finding his movies and they're also finding The Fall. But it's just a very brilliant movie. I don't even know how to describe it. It is so magical, and it's about like the wonders of child imagination, and it's such a good movie. It is so well done. The camera is amazing, the places are amazing, and the story is amazing. I just love it. And
Pretty awesome.
weirdly enough, the only person I have ever known that fell asleep to this movie is now my boyfriend Lukas, and
I'm
that is
sorry.
Shame on
still
you.
unbelievable.
Shame on you.
It was years ago.
It's okay. You have seen it since then, and you stayed awake, and you rated it
And it
5
was
stars,
amazing.
which you should. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
It is an amazing movie. I am a person that Meike likes and that she recommended this movie to. So I can speak out of experience that it is amazing and you should all watch it. Because every single listener is also a person that Meike likes.
Also, Lea Pace is so pretty in it.
Lee Pace is generally
Just go
so
watch the
pretty.
movie.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. He'd be a good elf too. Oh, he has been an elf.
Yep. He is the bitch king. Excuse you.
For a second, I forgot his iconic portrayal of the bitch king. Oh, the bitch king.
The bitch king, amazingness. Those eyebrows, kill me.
Thranduil is iconic.
Iconic.
Eyebrow conic.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of iconic, you know what's iconic?
Us. We
Us
are.
and our the Instagram and TikTok content. You can follow at Getting Fae'd Pod for some highlights, memes, outtakes. You can also slip in our DMs, but please don't send any spoilers. Just drop in for a chat.
Or with some feedback, like constructive criticism. We're always happy to hear that as well.
Yeah, because then we know whom to block.
No, Lukas.
And if you would like, you could also maybe leave a rating and review on the podcasting app of your choice, because that really helps. Thanks.
And also, please go on, recommend this podcast to your friends or family or loved ones or found family or any person you might talk to, because word of mouth really helps, and we would be very grateful for that. So thanks.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we will see you next time when we are
Getting Fae'd!